the 29th of June 2012. This is Capital FM Online TV News. In the headlines, High Court overturns Kibaki County Commissioner's appointment. U.S. envoy to Kenya resigns over differences with Washington. Kenyan shot dead as 4 aid workers are kidnapped in Dadaab. EU, French government power Kenya energy sector with 5.4 billion shilling loan. Good evening, I'm Victoria Rubidiri. The High Court has overturned President Mwai Kibaki's appointment of 47 county commissioners. Justice Mumbi Ngugi has ruled that the head of state lacked the legal authority to make such a decision. She also said that President Kibaki ignored the principle of gender balance when he unilaterally selected the county commissioners. The judge also nullified the appointment on the strength that the president went against the spirit of the National Accord and Reconciliation Act that required him to consult Prime Minister Raila Odinga whenever appointments to senior government offices are made. Acting Internal Security Minister Yusuf Haji says speculation on the helicopter crash that killed 6 Kenyans in Ngong, including George Saitoti, should cease. He says that investigations are being handled in a professional manner and continued speculation has led to misinformation on the probe. Haji says if anybody has information, they should present it to the Commission once public sessions start. He says that the probe team has been facilitated to proceed with the hearings once it is ready.
It is very unfortunate that people take advantage of the privilege in the House, that you cannot account for what you have said. If somebody have any tangible information, what stops such a person for appearing before the Commission and telling them everything that they know? They can even ask to be allowed to say in camera, I'm sure.
Gunmen early Friday afternoon kidnapped 4 aid workers and killed their driver in the Dadaab refugee camp complex. The 4 who work with the Norwegian Refugee Council come from Canada, Norway, Pakistan, and the Philippines. Eastern Police Chief Philip Ndolo says their Kenyan driver died later while receiving treatment at a local hospital. Military helicopters and police chased the gunmen who drove off with the hostages in their vehicle. It was later found abandoned with fears the gang are heading towards Somalia, some 100 kilometers from Dadaab. They are still being held hostage in Somalia. The U.S. ambassador to Kenya has resigned, citing differences with Washington over his leadership style and priorities just a year since he was appointed. Scott Gratian, a retired Air Force general and former U.S. Special Envoy to Sudan, took up the post in Nairobi on May last year. He says in a statement that differences with Washington regarding his leadership style and certain priorities led him to believe that it was now time to leave. Gratian submitted his notice of resignation last Monday. He provided no further details as to the nature of the disagreement.
To Kenya Defense Forces.
And finally, the energy sector has received a 5.4 billion shilling boost from the French government and the European Union. Finance Minister Njeru Githai says the loan agreement being facilitated by the French Development Agency will finance the Scaling Up Access to Energy project. Interest on the loan is 1.1% with a repayment period of 20 years and a 5-year grace period. The French government also committed a 55 million shilling grant, which French Ambassador to Kenya Etienne de Poussin says will go to the Social Fund for Development program. And that does it for our top stories of the day. Thank you for joining us. I'm Victoria Rubidiri.